Xbox Game Pass is the best value in gaming. It has been an incredible last couple of weeks when it comes to news for the Xbox platform, and it just continues to get better as they have announced the games coming to Xbox Game Pass in the month of March. I guess you can also include April, as Outriders will be making its way on April 1st. Now, before we get into this any further, if you guys are new here and you enjoy what you see throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community so we can have great conversations in the comments below. So Xbox put out an Xbox Wire article talking about the games coming to Game Pass in March, and there are some games on here that I didn't know were coming, and it just continuously is adding on to the value of this service and making this month going into next month going to be an incredible time for Xbox. So a few of the games I wanted to highlight here that I'm extremely excited about are Octopath Traveler, a game that I actually played on the Nintendo Switch. I got about 20 or so hours into it. I didn't finish it. I tend to do that sometimes with larger RPGs. When I go away from them, it's hard to go back because you kind of forget where you are and what you're doing and stuff. So this is a game I'm excited now that I'm going to be able to play on Xbox and get some achievements for it. Then there's Star Wars Squadrons, a game that I would love to play. I haven't checked it out yet, but it is about a 10-hour experience that I was going to try to play through it during that 10-hour EA Play trial, but now obviously EA Play is a part of Xbox Game Pass, and now it's on Game Pass, so I won't have to rush through it. Empire of Sin is a game that I've always kind of been interested in. I've seen some reviews on it, and I think that the reviews were pretty bad on it, but still the kind of era and atmosphere for a video game that I am interested in. Then you have Undertale, which is like a cult classic, and some people even refer to it as one of the best games ever made, if not the best game ever made. So it's a really interesting style of game that I think appeals to a very niche crowd, but at the same time a game that I would be interested in checking out. And then Outriders, I mean, day one we're getting that massive third-party game onto the Xbox Game Pass. And I don't want to forget Nier Automata on the service as well, that's coming to PC. So what is good to see here is that PC is definitely getting some love in this month. The big thing people I think are upset about is the Outriders isn't coming to PC, but I mean, there's still so much value here. It's really hard to complain about stuff like that because it's like, yeah, there's so much games coming, there's so much value, there's so much to play. It's hard to be negative with Xbox Game Pass when they're giving these types of games and they're giving this much. Now, what else is interesting about this lineup is the fact that they have Nier Automata, they have Octopath Traveler, both Square Enix games, and it seems like that relationship between Xbox and Square Enix and getting their games onto these services is continuing to grow as we've seen the Final Fantasy games come. We've seen Kingdom Hearts that was on there. Now we get these two games, and hopefully in the near future, Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to make its way onto the Xbox platform, potentially on Xbox Game Pass. You never know, but I think that is something to continue to look out for, to see what games come from these Japanese developers onto Game Pass, onto Xbox, because as we know, Xbox is trying to increase their foothold in the Japanese market, and getting games like this on the service, if they're available through xCloud at some point, I think will be a big plus for Xbox. But yeah, even Yakuza 6 now coming on. It's another game that's coming from Sega, showing the relationship between Xbox and Sega is great, and that Sega is happy with the performance of their games on Xbox Game Pass. So I'm excited. I mean, there's so much to play. I don't know how I'm going to download all of these games. I'm going to have to make sure that my external hard drive has enough room on it, because my internal hard drive definitely isn't going to have enough room on it. And next month, this month is just going to be non-stop action. You even have, it's not a Game Pass game, but there's also MLB coming out later in April, which is going to be the first time that that game makes its way onto the Xbox platform. So a lot to be excited about, a lot to be happy about. But that's it for me. I will have to know in the comments below which games out of this slate of games, I mean, besides Outriders, because we already talked about Outriders, but out of the other ones, which ones are you most excited for? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you are new here and you like what you see throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community so we can have some great conversations in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.